And we welcome now Kellthoum Rowland. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, correct. Bonjour.
Okay. Bonjour to you. Also, Margaret Chance and Barbara Broome, Gold Star families. Kellthoum, start with you. Tell us your connection to the Armed Forces Museum and to these Gold Star families.
Well, I'm Kellthoum Rowland, and I am the Honorary Consul of France for Mississippi, and I am here, representing France to express my thanks, my gratitude to the families of Sam Bondale for his sacrifice in World War II.
Awesome. Margaret, tell us your story.
Well, our uncle, S.B. Dale Jr., was killed in World War II over France, July 4th, 1944. He was a pilot, and he was shot down over a small village in France, and we were privileged to go. Kellthoum went with us and translated for us, but this little village in France invited us to come to a ceremony there because they wanted to honor him and put a plaque on the wall of their town hall.
Wow.
Honoring his service. They were so grateful for his service that Barbara and my husband Tony and I went, and Kellthoum accompanied us and translated for us and helped us through the ceremony. But it was because they were so appreciative of his sacrifice.
Sure.
In World War II.
Yeah, they called him, kept calling him the American hero, Mm-hmm.
Barbara?
As she said, this was an incredible trip that we took. And the incredible thing was, how did they find us?
Yeah.
It was through a Facebook post. And my daughter intercepted the post and sent it to me, and they were just looking for the family. And we contacted Kellthoum to verify all the information, and then we heard from the mayor and got an official invitation. And so we made our plans, and here we Mississippi girls are in Paris.
And so when did this occur?
2018.
2018.
It was the 100th anniversary of Armistice Day, and it was a big celebration in Europe. Everyone, the newspapers, the media, and everyone was celebrating, and so that's why they scheduled that ceremony on that day.
And I assume that a good number of the townspeople were on hand and attended the celebration?
Yes, all French.
Yeah.
And thanks to Kellthoum and our newfound friend Loic, the young researcher and historian who also was involved in all this information, helping us to gather. He's the one who found the plane, sent us the wreckage, pieces of the wreckage of the plane.
Now, is that how they came to, I guess, publish the information on Facebook? Was it due to the location and identification of the plane itself? Did they do some research and figure out who was on board?
Do you know, Kellthoum?
About
how did they connect? Did the plane have was it a factor, I guess, in determining their family members' connection to this event, to this situation?
No, they had his name, and so they went on Facebook, on social media, and put, Dale, and so they reached out, not to you, correct? They reached out to your daughter. On Facebook.
And she sent it to me and said, I think this is for you.
Wow.
And so we jumped at the chance. It was something we never imagined. We had no information about what happened to him other than he had been killed and was buried in Normandy. So we went, and like I said, resulting in all this information that we gathered and documented in these books and this display.
So the town, is it fair to say then, was searching for your family members? And they were wanting to honor them.
Mm-hmm. About 200 people in that little village. We have to call it a village. It was near Evre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Evreux, yes.
Evreux.
Did you translate for them?
Yes,
there?
I did, yes. But it was amazing to see because, people who were there, who were 12 years old at that time, came to see us and told us about what happened on that day, on July 4th, 1944.
So they remember? They were present? That's amazing.
Someone saw his body, actually.
That's incredible.
A little 12-year-old girl at that time went into the town hall or peeped into the window and saw his body lying there. And,
wow.
And we actually talked to her through Kellthoum. We were able to talk to her.
How'd that make you feel?
Oh, my. It was quite an experience. It was. And I was so impressed with how grateful that little village was to him, and they've honored him ever since. You know, they've put a plaque there for generations to come to be able to honor him. I wish my grandmother could have known this story.
Yeah.
She just got a telegram saying that he had been killed.
Wow.
She never knew what
No
happened.
other information, huh?
Never knew what happened to him. But if she could have known how well he was treated and how much he was respected, it would have meant so much to her.
You know, sometimes the media kind of portrays this message that the French and the Americans don't get along so great in modern times, but this seems to refute that somewhat.
Mm-hmm. This is our message. France will never forget. We will be eternally, grateful for the sacrifice. They left everything. They went to a faraway land, to deliver us from evil. And when you asked me to come and to accompany you to France, I said, of course, I will be there.
Yes.
It feels like sometimes we don't think enough about and reflect enough on what would have been the consequences were it not for these American heroes. And what would the situation of France and the rest of the world be like today?
Exactly.
And he was just an average young
Sure.
man. He was just caught up into the world war, and he thought he might like to fly. He didn't even know how to fly, but he thought he might like to, and he was just a patriot and wanted to serve his country and ended up giving his life for his country.
And I think even those young men, they understood the risk. They knew there was a good probability that they might not make it home, but
Yes.
they did the duty that they were called to do, and we all benefit from their sacrifice, no doubt about that. So on behalf of Mississippi and America, I certainly extend my respect and my gratitude to your family members for their ultimate sacrifice to provide us with the quality of life that we have today and the freedoms we enjoy today.
Yes.
We thank you for that.
If you ever have a chance to go to Normandy or any of the American cemeteries, it will really be a touching experience. We were there when they lowered the flag in the afternoon and they played taps, and I don't think there was a dry eye on the grounds. It was very touching.
It's overwhelming to stand and look at all those white crosses as far as you can see.
Almost 10,000, yes.
10,000.
Yes.
Just amazing.
And we need to remember, it's not just in Normandy. Go to Belgium, go to Luxembourg,
Right.
the Netherlands.
So it's important that we have facilities like this Armed Forces Museum to remember those that served and especially those who pay the ultimate price. But that on Memorial Day, we just take at least a day out of the year where we reflect upon their sacrifice and honor and recognize them.
That's true.
Does that have special meaning to you now, having been through this experience, traveling to France, and with your being, I guess, ceremoniously greeted as a result of your family member?
Yes. I've written several documents trying to compile all of these military documents and family documents, and just put them in a little book that I've shared with the libraries, the genealogy libraries in our local areas, just to try to preserve it, and so that our grandchildren can read
Sure.
and understand that they had a family member who was a hero.
Yeah, no doubt. And honestly, all of our students, it seems, in America should be aware of these sacrifices, and this should be taught in our schools. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I was able to go around and speak at several places after we got back
Yeah.
from France, Rotary clubs and our churches and various places, and people were very interested in the story.
Yeah.
It really resonated with me.
What, did most of that occur in Mississippi?
Yes.
And in Louisiana, in
We
Baton
did
Rouge.
Yeah, yeah.
Did go to Baton Rouge.
I mean, the good news is, I think, in our neck of the woods in the country, we truly do respect
Yes.
those who served in our armed forces, and especially those, again, who paid that ultimate price for our freedom. So that's good to hear, and I bet you were received very well.
They really enjoyed it. They appreciated the story.
That's awesome. Kellthoum, Margaret, Barbara, Thanks to you guys so much for joining us here on Middays. Enjoyed hearing the story, and once again, thanks for the service of your family member, and thanks for preserving that story and that history and being a beacon for that. Thank you.
Our
Thank you.
Folks, we're coming right back.